Hi everybody, it's Dara, and I'm in my closet about to freshen up my face. You guys loved my makeup video, and that makes me so happy. It was really so much fun. It was just like hanging out, and so thank you for all the nice comments. So I'm just freshening up, and I want to talk about, I'm on Snapchat and I'm very prolific. I was putting videos up of, we're putting on a little bit of makeup because we're going to go for a bike ride and go fix, this is well people, we're going to go fix my bike. It's gotten a little bit funky because I leave it outside because it's my chariot and I want it waiting at all times, but it got a little bit funky, like it's a little, I don't know, it's making noises. So we're going to go ride to Helen Cycles on Lincoln Boulevard, and I don't know, just thought I'd freshen up and have a chat. I'm doing a lot of videos on Snapchat because I was using Instagram for pictures of food, pictures of places, things, people, and I did these little no excuses 15-second videos that were so much fun. But Snapchat's turned out to be an amazing place for me to do that, for me to have an amazing place to show in 10 seconds what I'm up to, what I put in the salad dressing, how I made my breakfast. I don't know, a thought that I have. So on Instagram, a beautiful woman, let's just call her O, sent me a message saying that she would like me to do a video on decluttering. And I'm like, okay. And something made me ask, like, what about, like, specifically? And she started talking about how she is having a hard time letting go of jealousy and competitive feelings, and she can't stop doing it, and she thinks that if she lets go of items, it will help her to clear up. So, yes, that's true. Yes, getting rid of things helps us to get clean in our surroundings. When we have less chaos, when we have less stuff, it becomes obvious when something comes in that isn't quite right. But even before that happens, when we start getting rid of items, physically just getting rid of items, we start to realize that the clean environment that we have, it makes us want to eat cleaner, have cleaner relationships with people, and it helps us to see ourselves more, right? It helps us to identify, because when we hang on to something, we do ask ourselves, like, why am I hanging on to this? Well, I know that I kept this beaded lapis lazuli because I remember making it, and I know that the Egyptian queens wore lapis lazuli here to help their brain. But if for any reason this didn't feel good to me, I would pass it on. If it had feelings of holding on to something that doesn't serve me, and that means a person or a belief system or a thought or a pattern. So when we start cleaning and having minimal things, we have less chatter, less chaos, less static talking to us, because even if you don't realize it, our belongings speak to us, right? Like they're all holding an energy. They all have a memory. They all have a physical space they take up. And more often than not, people are hanging on to things that just don't really serve, they just don't really need. Maybe they think it's aesthetically good to hang on to a lot of stuff. I met this guy at Groundwork today, and he was telling me he moved from a roommate that he had was just started hanging shelves and putting nonsensical items on it, empty wine bottles. She put just different things that it just was like clutter. Like she had the whole shelves filled with stuff, old stuff. And I was explaining to him that if someone can't, he doesn't need me to explain it because he was a minimalist. He ended up moving out into a home that doesn't have a wire out. The wires are run through the wall. His new roommate is not going to clutter up the place. So I'm happy for him. But I like to see pictures of how people are living. So if anybody wants to email me a room that they're having a hard time with dealing with, or the stuff, it helps me to see the stuff, because then I can say, that's what people hang on to. They might think that it's a good idea to stick a plate back there with an old stuffed animal, and then a frame, and then a this and then that. You know what cleaning that shelf is like? A nightmare. You have to move everything off, dust all those items, shake out the stuffed animal, then wipe it down. So wherever a broom can't go, this is funny, wherever a broom can't go, or a dust cloth, neither can the chi, right? Like if neither can the chi. The chi gets stuck there. If you can't put the broom there or the washcloth, the wiping cloth there, then there's a good chance that the chi is stuck in those places that you don't feel like disturbing those things. So how much better is it? And right now this feels a little cluttered to me. So these are, I don't know, just little supplements and odds and ends, and I'd rather not have that there. Watch how beautiful it's going to be when I take, this is Ami's Nectar, and I love this. So this gets to stay out. It's beautiful. Best perfume ever. Ami Beach on Facebook. And this I was cleansing. This is my charcoal, and I put myrrh resin on here, and it burns. It cleanses the energy. And my Mountain Valley water and a magnifying glass. But if I take off these things, you will see that it's easier to breathe, right? And my tonic, I heat it up. I heat up tonics throughout the day, you know. It's my little thing. So there you go. Doesn't that look a whole lot better, right? And even this could come out. And there you have it. And you put your stuff away. You know, my blow dryer is away. So, doesn't that feel nice? So now I have something out that I love. And this reminds me of my friend, and I love it, and it's beautiful, and that makes me happy. When there's a lot of clutter out, and you put another piece of clutter on, it's hard to identify that there's clutter, because it's all clutter. But once you start cleaning up, you start to notice that certain things just don't belong, and you don't want them there. So that goes with the people as well. So I'm getting to, and not people, it's not like they don't belong, or they do belong, or they're good or they're bad, but maybe you need space from those feelings that you're having. So in her case, I said, you know, eating clean is a good start, decluttering, and then that might give you some self-reflection, and also maybe a therapist or someone to talk to and identify where those feelings are coming from, because usually they're triggered by another person, but they live within us, because if it didn't live within us, then that thing that person did or said, or what they're doing in their life, wouldn't trigger us at all. It would not be active. So if it has to be active in us to be triggered. And very oftentimes when a person is in our life, she said, how can I eat clean and I'm doing so many good things. Why am I still hanging on to this one thing that feels bad? Well, why do we eat a bag of potato chips if we're feeling bad? Why are we in a relationship with somebody if it doesn't feel good? There's a number of reasons. There's karma. There's past history and lessons that need to be worked out, deals that need to be worked out between two souls. So sometimes it needs to play itself out until the lesson has been received, right? You contract with somebody, we're going to get together in this life, I'm going to make up for what I did in the past. Hopefully you made up and your karma gets to be complete and you move on. Sometimes you have your own soul lesson, right? You come in to learn about jealousy, and you're going to keep getting those teachers, right? She's a teacher. This person is triggered by another woman who happens to be doing well, I guess, and she can't stop looking at her Facebook and her Instagram, and she finds herself upset. So yes, we could say, yeah, just don't look at it, but I say actually look at it, let it come up, and see if you can find the origin of it, because it probably is a family of origin thing. Could be a past life thing, but it's probably a family of origin thing, something that happened in your past that you're trying to work out. So if you've had, one of your parents did something, then you might find somebody to help trigger those feelings so that you could eventually just work them through. And that is evolution. That's enlightenment. That's being evolved. Being evolved isn't being perfect, because we came in as humans with these lessons, with these challenges, so that we could balance ourselves out, so that we can be more at peace, and so that we can be even more enlightened. So really our job is to have these challenges, not stay in our home alone or hide from the world, which many people do, but it's to get these lessons and move on. So how does decluttering help? Decluttering helps because, I'm such a fan of decluttering. Decluttering helps because you're removing the obstacles that speak to you. It's giving you a quieter, and it's so funny, as I just did that, it makes me want to do more. These are just stuck up here. They're postcards and pictures. And I don't have frames out, so every once in a while, I will want to have a picture of my daughter, but I will change it. It never stays the same. Look at her. So cute. So there, I just like total, you know. And okay, so we get more clarity, we get more clarity. We get more cleanliness in our home and decluttered homes. We get more clarity in our heads. You can focus better. You can think better. You can discern better. You can discern what items come back in. You can discern what people get to be in your home, what people get to be in your heart. And give yourself a break. Sometimes it's just the way it's supposed to be, that you're supposed to learn that lesson with that person. So don't battle yourself about it. Just see what comes up. Learn from it. And hopefully learn from it. And hopefully get that lesson to move on to another one. We've all done things. I can't imagine that there's any human that knows that they shouldn't do something and then does it anyway. Maybe you are the cleanest eater in the world, but you drink too much. Maybe you don't drink, you eat well, but sometimes you smoke. And sometimes maybe you don't do any of those things, but you do X thing too much. Or we all have our little things. So for me, it's about not self-flagellation, because that's really damaging. It's about saying, hey, that's really interesting that I came in and that's my lesson, and this is such a charge, because in the charge is the lesson. In the charge is the thing that can be worked out. If it's a clump, a bump, it can be smoothed out. It can be removed from within us. So really, I guess it's really thank the person that's triggering you, because it was living in you anyway, and now it's up for review. It's up to be removed. So living in integrity is living, it's when your actions match your thoughts. It's when you really are living, if your belief system and your words are one thing and your actions are another, then you're not living in integrity with who you are. And that, I think, is what made this woman feel uncomfortable, because she's a beautiful woman and a beautiful person and does really good things. And so to have these feelings, it's like, what? Then I'm really not okay if I'm not across the board. And I'm here to say that's just not the truth. It's just not the truth. Any one of the gurus or the health or wellness experts, I know that they each have their own human frailties or their human lessons to learn. So before we think that anybody's perfect, I would really reconsider, if Instagram and Facebook are bothering you, back off. You don't have to do any kind of detox from it, but just see how you feel a day away from it. Notice how you feel when you go to a certain place versus another place. Some place might make you feel good. Some person might make you feel good. Some place might make you feel bad. Some person might make you feel bad. Some object in your home might feel good and it might feel bad. So what I'm suggesting is to only have the things around us that we really use or we really love, and practice that. Right? That's it. I wanted to I can't get off my soapbox about that, because I really am I'm so passionate about helping people, not have the plate sitting dusty on the shelf and the extra frames that they don't need. Put them in an album. Take pictures of them and save them in your phone. Consider when you look at something, does it spark joy? Like the KonMari method. Does it spark joy? Look at it and say, does this spark joy? This does. I maybe need to change the ranunculus, which are my new favorite flower, but this vase sparks joy. This coconut rose lotion sparks joy. I use it. I love it. Ami's perfume sparks joy. So that's what I want to say. See what you can get rid of. See if you can get rid of, give away, part with, gift another, dispose of 9 items a day. Okay? If your kids have a cluttered room, say, hey, honey, throw out 9 items. Chuck them into the hallway. I'll deal with it. It's a game. Let's see who can gather 9 items like that. An item could be an old coffee mug, a pencil. It doesn't have to be a big and monumental thing, but it's the act of looking at our surroundings with an eagle eye, right? With feng shui eyes, to know that we want the chi to be moving freely. We want to look at everything in our closet and say, I like all of those things. If you're not certain about an item and you haven't worn it in a while, then I suggest, it is really pleasurable to look at this, because, well, those shoes need to be fixed a bit. But everything in here I wear and I love. Whatever I haven't worn in a while, if my weight has fluctuated or I have all these Indian clothes that I'm not wearing around Venice, I just took them out and put them somewhere else so that when I get dressed, it's only things I know that I will wear. And then it enables you to enjoy what you have so much more. You will become so much more smartly dressed because everything, none of those things that you walk out the door and you think, why did I wear this today? I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me. In the morning, I get dressed to walk the dog and I come back and I'm like, I've even had Jada say it. It's so funny, like, what have I? So now it's just like, it's what I like, what I know looks good. It's simple. There's not a lot of it, but there's enough that makes me happy. So get rid of the stuff that doesn't make you happy. That's it. This is a pretty shirt. I got this years ago. And with my new sunflower hair. I think it'll be pretty. But I love this. I love this shirt. This makes me happy just even looking at it. This Indian white shirt, I left this one in the closet. It's so cute with jeans. So that's all I want to say. No, I have so much more to say. I'm going to do a video on feng shui because I think that's important. I'm going to show you my room. So to make the point that there is nowhere to hide in feng shui, there's nothing in that drawer. That makes me happy. There's only crystals there. And for now, I didn't want to wake up and see stuff as soon as I woke up. I wanted it to just be peaceful. It's so peaceful that the dog's happy and sleeping. So on that note, everybody, I hope you release something, an old thought, release an old idea, release an old item. Look at things anew, be light, be happy, be free, and make all